In video blog 4, we're supposed to talk about how we think technology helps shape our relationships with the people around us. And a lot of this is supposed to go off of the documentary that we watched in class today. I think it's important to analyze how technology affects our everyday living, especially with the relationships with the people we form around us, because if we don't, it's going to be just like the movie or the documentary predicted. I think that living in a virtual reality isn't a reality. Everything that you do in the computer is fake. Even though I say that, I understand that it's important to ask the question whether or not these technologies help you better establish relationships with those around us. And I hesitate to say that technology doesn't help us form relationship with those around us, because we live in a world today where technology, you can't escape it. You have to recognize that it's there. And if it's there, why not use it to your advantage? So I wouldn't say that technology hinders relationships that you make with others. I would say that in some instances it helps, and in some it hurts. Specific times I can think of when it has helped me and when it has strengthened and made satisfying connections with the people around me would be, one instance I could recall is when I went to Spain. And when I wanted to talk to my family, the only way I was able to do that was through technology, through Skype, through calling them on the phone, or emailing them. And I found that Skype actually worked really well, and I recognized that I benefited from technology because video chatting was something that you couldn't do 10, 15 years ago. It's relatively new, and I definitely took advantage of it, and it helped me keep the relationship that I had with my family. And when I missed them, I was able to talk to them, even see their faces when I was chatting with them. So I definitely think that helped strengthen our relationship while I was overseas for a semester. I think it would have been really hard if technology wasn't available to keep a relationship with them, because I don't necessarily think I would spend time writing letters home and waiting to get letters back. That to me just seems like it would take forever, and I would just get frustrated with waiting. So in that instance, technology has led to a more satisfying connection for me to talk to my family and friends who were in America while I was in Spain. Another way that it's helped me is, while I'm at school, I have a lot of people at home that I still like to talk to and maintain relationships with. One example I can think of would be the girls that I babysit. They're relatively young, but both are on Facebook, and I don't know, the relationship that I have with them is that they feel comfortable asking me anything that they want that they might not necessarily ask their parents, because I've known them for quite some time. So I really like that we have the opportunity to chat with each other over Facebook, or sometimes they send me a message on AIM or email me. And I don't know, I just like to help them out while I'm here at school so that we can maintain that relationship, and that when I go home for the holidays and see them, it's not like we haven't talked in a long time. We had just emailed each other or something like that. So definitely that would be another satisfying connection that I've experienced from the technology that our world has offered us. However, like I said in the beginning, I also think there's instances where technology hinders the way that we communicate with each other. For me personally, I think the best example of this would be between me and my friends. Especially while we're here at school, there's no reason that we should be texting each other back and forth. Instead, we should just make time to see each other on campus, arrange time for a dinner, or just meet up and have coffee or something like that. Besides just sending text, receiving text, it's not the same thing as communicating with each other in person. And I think if you're in the same vicinity, you should take advantage of that and stem away from the technology and instead rely on personal face-to-face communication. Another way, we talked about this in class a little bit, emailing professors. I think that completely eliminates the relationship that you can make with a professor, especially when you do go and visit them in their office. I think that's more helpful than when you just send them an email answering a question, because you have more time to talk to them, ask follow-up questions, and maybe get an example or two that would be impossible with an email. And talking to your professor, I really think that benefits the student, because the teacher gets to know them, gets to know their personality, and it just makes it easier to communicate with them in the classroom and just have that resource to go to instead of just sending an email or just like looking at slides online. So it's impossible to say whether or not like technology is helping us or hurting us, because there are definite instances where our lives have been changed for the better by technology, but I think we really need to stop and look around us and make sure that it's not overtaking the world, that if our friend is a door or two away, we don't just send her a text message. We make a point to go over and say hi and talk with them instead of just, you know, shooting a text, what are you doing tonight? You go over there and ask them and hang out with them later. I don't think technology should take over our lives, but I do think that we should use it to benefit with relationships that may not be so easy to contact, like people overseas.